An epic beat a legendary? Man, this guy can't be that good. Let's check him out. Let's go. Hello everybody, Loki Magic's another day, another video, and today's video is all about this daily login rewards day 240 because I finally got him and I was able to check him out. I booked him out, maxed him out, and he is ready to go. So if you want to know my impressions of this guy, let's watch this video. Alright, so first up, let's talk about him aesthetically. Now aesthetically, I don't think this is a bad looking champion. Pretty basic though, nothing that really stands out, right? He seems pretty generic, and for some reason he reminds me of a drummer, like a heavy metal kind of guy. Like if I was like, hey dude, hey Mr. Mangler, what kind of music do you listen to? I'm pretty sure he'll say rock and roll or something like that. That's the impressions I get off of him. But you know, not a bad looking champion. But anyways, let's talk about his skills. Alright, so let's look at his A1. So his A1 attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing leech debuff on target for 2 turns before attacking, which is kind of cool. He places leech first and then he attacks, giving himself a chance to, you know, benefit from that leech debuff, right? So that's kind of cool. A smart A1, not really that special, doesn't really do a lot, but at least it's a smart A1. Now, looking at his A2, it kind of broke my heart because when you first look at it, you're like, awesome, he does decrease attack and decrease crit damage. So you're thinking, man, this guy's gonna be good for faction wars, clan boss, campaign, dungeons, because he does decrease attack and decrease crit damage, right? Well, not so much, because yes, he does attack all enemies. It can be booked up to 100% chance, but he could only place either decrease attack or decrease crit damage for 2 turns. And it's a 4-turn cooldown. So even if you have Master Hexer, you're still only going to be able to apply one or the other. So this immediately takes away a lot of value from the champion, and he's really not going to be good in arena because of that RNG, and he's definitely not going to be good in clan boss because you always want to have decreased attack up, especially in the later turns. If not, you're gonna have your run cut short because he starts to hit really hard, right? So having that or RNG where it's gonna be one or the other takes away so much from this champion, and it's very unfortunate, but you know, what can you do? He does have one saving grace though, and that is faction wars. Because his A3 attacks all enemies, places 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then if you at least critical hit one enemy, he will place an additional 7.5% continuous heal for 1 turn. So this A3 right here is very helpful in faction wars because Oregon tribes are struggling when it comes to healers, revivers, etc., right? But this A3 isn't the best A3 because he does one really good continuous heal for 2 turns, and the other one's the weaker version for only 1 turn. So this isn't enough to carry your whole team, but this does help. So you're still going to need to pair him up with another champion that could, you know, support your whole team to get through faction wars. But this guy here definitely helped me beat faction wars because of his A3. So I'm not gonna say he's like the best champion for faction wars, but he definitely helped me out, and I'm pretty sure he could help out a lot of other accounts because Oregon tribe just doesn't have a good roster when it comes to heals. And then he also has his aura that increases all defense in faction crits by 30%. So in short, I just think this guy is a great faction war champion and nothing else. I don't really see a use case for him in clan boss or arena. That's just my opinion. He's definitely not going to be any use to late game players, later older accounts, but early game I could see people using it for dungeons and campaign, etc. But for the most part, I just really see him being best utilized in faction wars. So that is it for his skills, and let's go over his masteries. Okay, so masteries. Now for people that really want to use them for clan boss, which I understand because hey, not everybody has a huge roster, right? You have to use what you have. And if that is you, then you must go down the offensive tree just like this: crit rate, crit damage, go here and go straight down to War Master because he only attacks one time, so this will be beneficial for you going against the clan boss. And then go down the support tree just like this, just minus Eagle Eye, and go here, and you should be good to go if you do that for if you're only using this champion for clan boss. But now for everyone else, if you're using them for faction wars, campaign, and even in dungeons, I think this is the best method because this will keep him alive longer and you'll be able to maximize his continuous heal and even his decreased attack and decreased crit damage, even though it's one or the other. So definitely want to get lasting gifts, boost up that duration for continuous heals, and also boost up that duration for the debuffs that he does do. So these two are very important on his support tree. And the reason why I went with Eagle Eye is because I figure having that plus 50 accuracy will free up some, it will give me a little bit more room to play with his artifact sets when building him to kind of boost up his other stats, right? So speaking of that, let's look at his artifacts. Now I went with Relentless set because I wanted him to take multiple turns, so that way he could take I guess benefit from his own continuous heal and also apply it more on the other champions. And with Master Hexer, I figure, hey, if he's taking a lot more turns, he'll be able to probably double stack the decreased attack and decrease crit damage if it aligns right, which I'm not really banking on, but you know, that was just my thought process on why I put him in Relentless set. Now his HP is not bad, his attack is low, but it's okay because this guy really doesn't do a lot of damage. I don't know his multipliers, but I'm pretty sure it's not that high. His defense is pretty good, his speed's pretty okay. Now his crit rate's at 90, it should be at 100%, so it'll be a guarantee for that additional continuous heal. Crit damage, not worried about it. This guy doesn't do a lot of damage. Resistance, if you could get this up, that would be good, but if you can't, don't worry about it. And his accuracy, I think this is pretty good for Faction Wars 21 and pretty much any other content in the game, so I think this is good. War Arena, you probably want this higher, but for, you know, PvE type stuff, that's pretty good to go. And yeah, that's pretty much him in a nutshell. He isn't a great champion, he definitely can't carry no one. His A3 isn't strong enough, his A2 is too RNG. He does have a great aura, but you know, a lot of other champion does have pretty good auras, and his A1 is like you know, it's nothing special, right? So overall, he's an okay champion. Oregon faction is struggling though when it comes to faction wars, right? Now we do have this guy here. I think him and this guy will be fantastic together in faction wars. So if you're struggling on faction wars, you should definitely build them out. But other than that, I really don't see much use case for this guy. So I don't know, that's just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think. I personally don't think he's a great champion at all. I think he's okay, but he did help me beat faction wars finally, so I can't really complain too much. But then again, he is a free champion. But regardless, that is it for this video. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for checking me out, and you guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the next video.